Look at the sole of your shoe. If you bought it from a mall or a fast fashion retailer in Canada, chances are it is glued on. That thin layer of adhesive is all that separates your foot from the ground. When it fails, the shoe becomes trash. Most affordable shoes are built this way. But a handful of brands in Canada build differently. They use construction that lasts. And the best part? You do not need to spend a fortune. We found 5 brands that deliver real craftsmanship at prices that will surprise you. The global footwear market is worth nearly $500 billion. Women's shoes account for almost half of that. But most of that money buys the same thing, cemented construction. That is industry jargon for glue. The average Canadian woman buys several pairs each year, each one destined for the trash within 12 months. But there are brands that refuse to play that game. They use techniques like vulcanization, Goodyear welting, or injection molding. And they sell their shoes for less than you would expect. Our first gold mine started in Turin, Italy, in 1911. Superga launched the 2750 Coda Classic in 1925. That same sneaker is still in production today. The construction is vulcanized rubber, a process that uses heat and pressure to bond the sole around the upper. No glue. The rubber and canvas become one piece. This makes the shoe much harder to peel apart than a basic glued sneaker. Many Canadian shoppers walk past Superga because it looks like a simple canvas sneaker. But it is secretly one of the cheapest ways to get vulcanized construction with over a century of design history. The 2750 Coda Classic typically costs between $50 and $85 Canadian dollars. That is less than many fast fashion sneakers that use glued construction and synthetic materials. The canvas upper is washable, and the rubber outsole provides good grip. Look for it if you want a casual spring and summer sneaker that works with jeans, dresses, and travel outfits. Avoid it if you need strong arch support or something for Canadian winter. The heel and sidewalls can feel stiff during the first few wears, so break them in gradually. Superga proves that a canvas sneaker can be better built than it looks. The value is not in hype. It is in the construction. For under $90, you get a shoe that outlasts many glued alternatives. But if you want leather, structure, and almost 2 centuries of shoemaking experience, the next brand is where things get interesting. Clark's has been making shoes since 1825, but the reason it matters today is not nostalgia. It is the fact that models like the Wallaby and Desert Boot still use construction ideas many modern fashion brands abandoned years ago. Clark's is best known for its Desert Boot and Wallaby shoes, as well as school shoes for children. Many Canadian shoppers dismiss Clark's as old-fashioned or conservative. But that reputation hides a gold mine. Select Clark's leather boots use Goodyear welt construction, where the sole is stitched to the upper through a strip of leather. That means the sole can be replaced when it wears out, extending the life of the shoe indefinitely. Clark's shoes typically cost between $70 and $150 Canadian dollars. That is less than many fashion boots that use cemented construction and cannot be resold. The Wallaby and Desert Boot are iconic models that work with casual and smart casual outfits. Look for them if you want durable leather shoes that can be repaired. Avoid if you need a lightweight shoe or if you have wide feet, as Clark's sizing can vary heavily between lines. The break-in period can be stiff, so plan for that. Clark's is the brand your mother probably trusted. This next one is the brand younger women are rediscovering without realizing why it works. But first, remember, Clark's proves that a shoe can be affordable and reparable. That is rare in women's footwear. New Balance is often associated with dad sneakers or running shoes. But the 550 model, originally a basketball shoe from 1989, has been rediscovered as a fashion staple. What makes it a gold mine is the material quality at the price. The upper uses a mix of leather and synthetic materials that feel more substantial than typical fashion sneakers. The construction is still cemented, but the materials are chosen for durability. Many Canadian women ignore New Balance because they think it is only for athletes or older generations. But the 550 offers a classic silhouette that works with jeans, skirts, and even casual work outfits. The 550 typically costs between 100 and 130 Canadian dollars. That is comparable to many fashion sneakers, but the material quality is noticeably better. The leather paneling is thicker, and the stitching is reinforced. However, this is still a cemented sneaker, so it is not resolable. Look for it if you want a durable lifestyle sneaker that looks good with many outfits. Avoid if you need a shoe for running or intense activity. The fit runs slightly narrow, so consider sizing up if you have wider feet. New Balance wins on material value. But the next brand controls something even more important, the entire supply chain. That means they can offer better quality at a lower price by cutting out middlemen. ECCO is a Danish brand that does something most shoe companies do not. It owns its own tanneries and factories. That means ECCO controls every step of production, from raw leather to finished shoe. This vertical integration allows them to use high-quality materials without paying a middleman markup. The result is a shoe that often outperforms more expensive designer brands in durability and comfort. Many Canadian shoppers overlook ECCO because it is not flashy or trendy. But the construction and materials are engineered for long-term wear. ECCO shoes typically cost between 100 and 180 Canadian dollars. That is less than many designer brands that use similar or lower quality leather. ECCO uses a direct injection process that bonds the sole to the upper without glue, creating a durable and flexible bond. Look for models like the Soft 7 or the Biome for casual and workwear. Avoid if you prefer very trendy designs or need a narrow fit, as ECCO tends to run wider. The break-in is minimal, but some models may feel stiff initially. ECCO is technical, controlled, and engineered. But the number one brand is hiding in plain sight. It is a brand you definitely know, but probably do not take seriously as a quality shoe. Converse is the number one goldmine on this list. The Chuck Taylor All-Star uses a canvas upper, a rubber toe cap, and a vulcanized rubber sole. Vulcanization bonds the rubber around the upper with heat and pressure, creating a durable bond that resists delamination. Many Canadian women ignore Converse because they think it is a basic, low-quality sneaker. But the construction is actually more robust than many fashion sneakers that cost twice as much. The Chuck Taylor has been in production since 1917, and the design has barely changed because it works. Converse Chuck Taylors typically cost between 50 and 80 Canadian dollars. That is cheaper than most fast fashion sneakers, yet the construction is more durable. The canvas upper is breathable and washable, and the rubber sole provides good grip. Look for them if you want a versatile sneaker that works with almost anything: jeans, dresses, skirts, even business casual if styled right. Avoid if you need arch support or a shoe for long walks, as the flat sole offers little cushioning. The sizing runs large, so try them on or size down. Converse proves that you do not need to spend a lot to get durable construction. But the real surprise is how these brands compare to each other and to fast fashion alternatives. Let us compare. A fast fashion sneaker costs around $60 and lasts one season. Over 5 years, that is $300 for 5 pairs. A Converse Chuck Taylor costs $70 and lasts 2 to 3 years. Over 5 years, that is about $140 for 2 pairs. A Clark's boot at $140 can last 5 years with resoling. The Goldmine brands save you money over time because they are built to last. The problem is not buying affordable shoes. The problem is paying premium prices for disposable construction. So why are these brands ignored? First, they lack the marketing budgets of trendy brands. Second, their designs are classic, not trendy, so they do not generate social media buzz. Third, many shoppers associate high price with high quality, assuming that affordable means disposable. But these brands prove that value is not about price tag. It is about construction. The next time you shop, look beyond the logo. Turn the shoe over. Check the sole. Check the stitching. That is where the real story is. Here is a simple guide. For a casual canvas sneaker that lasts, go with Superga or Converse. For a durable leather shoe that can be resoled, choose Clark's. For a well-made lifestyle sneaker with premium materials, pick New Balance 550. For a versatile leather shoe with excellent build quality, ECCO is your best bet. Each brand has its strengths and weaknesses, but all of them offer better value than most fast fashion alternatives. What do all 5 brands have in common? They prioritize construction over branding. They use methods that make their shoes last longer, even if that means sacrificing trendiness. They prove that affordable does not have to mean disposable. And they show that the best value is not always the cheapest up front, but the one that lasts. For Canadian women who want to buy smarter, these brands are absolute goldmines. If you have ever bought a shoe that looked good online and fell apart in 6 months, subscribe. We break down which brands are actually worth your money. Because the real value of a shoe is usually not on the tag. It is in the construction.